proud to serve northeastern and central Pennsylvania. This is WNEP 16, the news station. Now, Nolan Johannes, Karen Harch, pilot Jack Rulin in Skycam 16, Chief Meteorologist Tom Clark, and Joe Zone on sports. This is Newswatch 16.
Good evening. There may be a problem keeping the professors in the classroom.
Faculty members at Pennsylvania's 14 state universities are talking about going on strike. If there is a walkout, it would be the first ever for the state university system. Right now, college students are returning to campus for the start of the fall semester. Skycam 16 flew over Bloomsburg University today. Professors here and at the other 13 state universities want more money. One union member tells us the system has to offer more money to attract good professors, or else the students will not get the best college education. Faculty members are scheduled to vote in 2 weeks on whether to authorize a strike. This would not include Penn State, Temple, or University of Pittsburgh. Newswatch 16's Valerie Devine visited one of the universities that would be affected by a strike, East Stroudsburg.
For students at East Stroudsburg University, this is their first day back at school, a day to get settled in at the dorm and at the financial aid office. And many of those paying for their college education aren't too happy to hear their professors may walk out of the classroom next month.
Well, I paid my money. I would feel pretty bad. You know, if they go on strike, I don't know what I'd do. I guess I'd quit.
It would push me back if they went on strike and we had to, like, cancel a semester. That would put me a whole, you know, I'd have to go a whole another year, like.
Administration officials say making up classes or extending semesters are just a few of the things that could happen if the professors were to strike. They're hoping that doesn't occur, but they admit a prolonged strike could cause some real problems.
You might have to consider suspending classes eventually until the faculty could return to the classroom.
The president of the Faculty Association says the damage from a strike could be irreversible.
It would be a total disaster for the students. It would create wounds that probably would never be solved, never be healed. It would be a damaging experience for everyone.
Because they know a strike could hurt students, both the administration and the faculty hope to avoid one, because they know these students have worked too hard to get here to close the door on them now. Valerie Devine, Newswatch 16 at East Stroudsburg University.
Quite a few public school districts in our area still do not have signed contracts with their teachers, but so far that's not keeping any teachers or students out of the classroom. In fact, today was back to school day for a lot of kids in our area, including these high school students at Abington Heights. Their teachers and school board are talking about a new contract, but no settlement yet. Now here's a list of the other school districts in northeastern and central Pennsylvania still trying to work out teacher contract agreements. In Bradford County, the Sayre and Wyalusing districts. In Lackawanna County, North Pocono, Old Forge, and, as we said, Abington Heights. In Luzerne County, the Luzerne County Community College and the Intermediate Unit 18. In Monroe County, the Voc Tech. In Wyoming County, Lackawanna Trail. No signed contracts yet in these districts in Lehigh County, East Penn, Parkland, and Whitehall Copley. In Northampton County, Bangor, East Northampton, Voc Tech, and Wilson. And in Schuylkill County, no signed contract yet in the Tri-Valley School District. But again, no teachers in these districts are on strike, and contract talks are continuing.
One teacher representative says if public education is ever going to get better, changes have to be made. Albert Shanker is president of the American Federation of Teachers. He spoke in Scranton today. Newswatch 16's Mark Annick was there and says Shanker warns that if those changes are not made, public schools will lose even more students to private schools.
He started out as a math teacher in New York City. Later, he founded a teachers' union there. Albert Shanker says whether it's New York or Scranton, the public schools have got to change. First, he says teachers should be paid more. That would attract better teachers and keep them in the profession. He says classes should be smaller and teachers should have fewer of them. He also says teachers should intern, much like doctors do. Shanker would also change the workforce, paying the higher salaries to those who want to make teaching a career and a lower wage to temporary teachers, those just out of college who would pay back their student loans by teaching. Most educators agree that Shanker's ideas mean some big changes in how teachers teach and how students learn. But a couple of teachers we talked with here at West Scranton High think Shanker's ideas are good ones.
Those students that are in our colleges and are thinking in terms of a teaching career, I think if they can see the starting salaries higher, I think we will entice more people into the teaching profession.
Marie Conmee says internships are a good idea, too.
I really do feel that he's right in giving them more help from experienced teachers, more help from supervisors, more help from the principals.
School Superintendent Dr. Peter Flynn agrees with some of Shanker's ideas, but he says the ideas are so new, the district doesn't know what they would mean in dollars and cents. Mark Annick, Newswatch 16, Scranton.
The number of students denied entrance to schools in our state because they did not have needed vaccinations was at an all-time low last year. That word from the state health department. The decline came after a state regulation put into effect in 1983 that requires all new students to have 6 vaccinations. Before that, only kindergarten students had to prove they received those shots. Newswatch 16 continues with getting the X-rated video off the shelves. We'll tell you what some video store owners in Schuylkill County did today.
Plus, we'll tell you what's up with a troubled bridge that crosses the waters of the Susquehanna River. A live report up next.
Have a summer of fun in the Poconos. At your host with the most in the Poconos. Beautiful Mount Airy Lodge.
Have every kind of summer fun at Mount Airy Lodge or Pocono Gardens. Beautiful rooms, fabulous food, headline entertainment. Winter, spring, summer, fall. Call 1-800-441-4410 for Pocono Gardens and
Beautiful Mount Airy Lodge.
Give me some fun in the blazing sun. Give me a friend or two. And when my first is at its worst, give me Mountain Dew. Do it, Mountain Dew. Do it, cool and smooth. When I got a thirst, you're undiluted, undisputed. Do it, Mountain Dew.
Some business people in Schuylkill County are banding together to fight a countywide crackdown on X-rated videotapes. Newswatch 16's Bob Reynolds has been following the controversy. Tonight he says it's getting even more intense.
This is one of Michael Melnick's 2 video stores in Schuylkill County, and these are a few of the X-rated tapes which Melnick has pulled off his shelves. The district attorney calls the movies filth and plans to arrest anyone renting the flicks. Just last week, Melnick vowed to keep the tapes, but now has changed his mind.
After having a discussion with our attorney and legal staff, he advised that it might be a good move for the moment until we can, as you would say, regroup.
Melnick hopes to get together with all Schuylkill County video stores, pull together, and fight the DA's X-rated ban. Michael Melnick owns the largest video stores in Schuylkill County, but even some of the smallest video outlets are pulling their X-rated tapes off the shelves, too.
I thought we were in the land of the free, but evidently the DA don't believe in the land of the free.
Doc Miller runs a small video store out of his home, and he hopes to fight the DA.
He's getting into something that a lot of, toes he's stepping on, the man is.
Just down the road a few miles is an appliance store. David Clues is the manager, and his store rents X-rated tapes as a sideline.
We are still renting tapes until we hear from the DA's office. We'll continue to do so, and then at that time we'll go from that point.
DA Richard Russell says he's doing the right thing, and if store owners want to fight him, that's okay. But Russell warns if the X-rated flicks like these stay, arrests will be made. Bob Reynolds, Newswatch 16, Schuylkill County.
Luzerne County's engineer says he wants the bridge over the Susquehanna to stay closed because of a hole in its deck.
The Nanticoke-West Nanticoke Bridge that you see behind us would stay closed until major repairs can be finished in 1987. Officials think an overweight truck caused the holes to open up.
Newswatch 16's Mark Davis is live now on that bridge with the latest. Mark?
Karen Nolan, the Nanticoke-West Nanticoke Bridge was built in 1914, and in some respects, it looks it. Following an afternoon inspection, the county engineer says this bridge is just too dangerous to reopen right now. Bridge really doesn't show its age from Skycam 16, but you can see it's the easiest link between Nanticoke and West Nanticoke, handling about 7,000 cars a day. After the hole opened up over the weekend, Luzerne County engineer James Brozina wanted a closer look before deciding what to do next. Brozina and a consulting engineer who did an in-depth study of the span just last year looked at, pounded, and stepped into the cracks and hole in the old span. It's scheduled for a $2.5 million facelift next year. They also went below, examining the underside from the banks of the Susquehanna River. It all strengthened their belief the bridge is unsafe and would take about $30,000 to fix up.
I can't see this as being a feasible repair and reopening the structure, considering that even if we did this $30,000 worth of repair work, it would have to be scrapped along with the rest of the work come the spring when the rehabilitation work begins.
If the bridge does remain closed, drivers would most likely use the John S. Fine Bridge of the Cross Valley Expressway. That's just upriver and results in a 4-mile detour. The final decision on the fate of the Nanticoke-West Nanticoke Bridge rests with the county commissioners. Their decision will come tomorrow morning at a meeting. Right now, until then, the only traffic here is on foot or on a bicycle. I'm Mark Davis, Newswatch 16, live with the Instacam on the Nanticoke-West Nanticoke Bridge. Karen, Nolan?
Thank you, Mark. The state health department says the number of rabies cases in Pennsylvania last month was 46, the highest in any other month this year. Schuylkill County recorded its first case of rabies this year in August. Raccoons account for the majority of the reported rabies cases in Pennsylvania.
Our chief meteorologist, Tom Clark, is next with his weather watch.
And it was a beautiful summer day today, Tom.
Yeah. It was. Just give you any ideas what it's going to be like tomorrow?
Good.
Yeah, we'll
My
take
only
it.
true fan right here.
Oh.
And with all of this talk about hot weather, I thought that I'd talk about what happened on this date back in 1961. Stay tuned.
What happened?
With Medicare Convalescent Equipment Company, you're someone special to us. Hospital beds, walking aids, wheelchairs, liquid oxygen, surgical supplies, plus doctor's supplies. 24-hour radio-controlled fleet and 7-day-a-week service. We even do the Medicare paperwork for you. Medicare Convalescent Equipment Company is the most dedicated, highly trained home care firms in the nation. We take all the paperwork and all the headaches out of convalescent care.
Medicare Convalescent Equipment Company always has a better way because we care.
You know, more people trust Midas for the values they get in mufflers, shocks, and brakes. The value of a free inspection, the value of a written estimate, and best of all, the value of a good deal, like this.
Your participating Scranton area Midas dealers challenge you to beat their exhaust prices. Bring in any legitimate written competitive estimate for your muffler or exhaust system, and they'll meet or beat the price. Call your participating dealer for Midas Challenge details.
A big thank you tonight to all of you who helped to make this year's Muscular Dystrophy Telethon a success. And what a success. Nationally, more than $33 million was pledged over the Labor Day weekend to help fight MD. That's the largest amount ever raised by the Jerry Lewis Telethon. Locally, you people of northeastern and central Pennsylvania pledged close to $424,000 to help Jerry's kids. And during the telecast here on WNEP TV, you saw those dollars add up. Thank you again for helping in the fight against muscular dystrophy.
Thank you, and thank you again.
Yes.
All right, let's go out and say thank you to our chief meteorologist, Tom Clark, for providing us with a nice summery day. Tom?
Okay, you're certainly welcome, but it's a good man upstairs that provided the sunshine today, and the comfortable temperature is a bit muggier outside tomorrow for sure. Let's begin with the current readings now. It's blue overhead. It's kind of warm at 80 in my backyard. Humidity 68%, making it a bit sticky. The wind now is from the southwest at 10, and the barometer is falling just a bit now. Had a high here today of 81. That's well above normal. The normal now 76. 55 was the low this morning with some of that dense fog. And the record high for this date, check it out, 100. The highest temperature on record here in this area for the month of September. 42 the record low. The pollen count today, well, the good folks up there at Mercy Hospital in Scranton found no pollen in the air today. So that's good for the hay fever sufferers. A view from Skycam 16 today of the west branch of the Susquehanna River near Williamsport. But it was on this date back in September 3rd when a big summer snowstorm swept the Rocky Mountains. Not a very good day for golf. In Denver, took this guy by surprise. 4 inches of snow was reported in Denver. 2 to 3 feet of snow fell in the highest elevations of Colorado on that infamous day. The earliest snowfall on record for this area came in the form of snow flurries on September 20th, back in 1956. Now that I've got you cooled off, let me tell you about what kind of weather's coming in for the next couple of days. Satellite view is coming up next, and it shows a lot of clear sky in the east, giant bubble of very warm air over the southeastern states, extending high up into the atmosphere. That's going to hold its ground down that way and prevent any cool air from reaching us the rest of this week. Here we have some clouds and rain and what's left from Hurricane Elena. 4 to 7 inches of rain fell in portions of Mississippi and Louisiana, but that storm system will weaken even more as it approaches Pennsylvania. Maybe a few showers from it here on Friday, but that's about it. Here's my forecast for tonight. Well, you have to fan me to sleep tonight. It's going to stay kind of warm out there. 65 in Stevensville, Bradford County. Ashley, 66. St. Clair, 65. And Lock Haven, not too cool tonight. The wind will be coming in from the west. Here's your sunrise for tomorrow morning at about 6:32. Sunset, 7:31. Now, from the top for tonight. Hazy in the valley, some patchy fog. It'll stay mostly clear. Tomorrow, hot, humid. 87 will be the high tomorrow. 83 on Thursday, some thunderstorms around, showers on Friday. The weekend looks quite warm as well, so no cool air in sight. For you students going back to school tomorrow, wear as little as possible, but do abide by the dress code, please. Okay.
Okay, Tom. See you on the update. Coming up with the Sports Watch, Joe's own. Joe will be telling us what's going on with the race-fixing allegations at Pocono Downs.
Plus, the first regular season poll in the Super 16. The Sports Watch is next.
Everything has its beginning, and Pickway suggests you begin at Pickway's Dance and Shoe Sale. Special this week, half shoes, only $9.88. Ballet shoes, only $6.88. Also, girls' opaque nylon tights, $1.66. Dance and Shoe Sale, this week at today's Pickway Shoes.
With Genesee and the great outdoors.
The grizzly bear is nothing to fool around with. That's their idea of fun. Mine is enjoying the good life with Genesee.
Genesee, the great outdoors in a glass.
When I open that bottle of Jenny, I know I'm going to get good, clean taste.
Genesee beer, the great outdoors in a glass.
I think Genesee beer and the great outdoors go together perfectly.
Some serious charges coming out of Pocono Downs, right?
We're going to update the latest on it. We don't know yet. Will more people be named in a race-fixing probe at Pocono Downs? Well, the people we talked to are saying nothing more about it right now, but that the investigation is still underway. The driver's name is Mike Frizzolone of New Jersey. He's been suspended indefinitely for failing to try to win a race. Frizzolone was driving Boardwalk Fellow Thursday night in the 9th. The horse was a 2-to-1 favorite. It finished 5th. Now, an owner has also been barred from the track. His name, Robert Kulik of Duryea. He has been kicked out of Pocono Downs permanently by the track president, apparently for refusing to cooperate with the State Racing Commission's investigation. Kulik owns a horse that was a co-favorite to win Friday night's 5th race. His horse broke stride and finished 8th. 2 other horses favored finished out of the money in that race. That's a race, by the way, where a bettor could win by picking the first 3 horses. Kulik is the same owner who was suspended earlier this year for cashing in a trifecta bet in a race in which another horse he owns was beaten. Owners cannot bet on horses other than their own. The investigation continues. It's possible other people will be named in this race-fixing probe right now at Pocono Downs. Well, call it a Super 16 jinx, if you will, but it was tough, a very tough opening weekend for some of the teams ranked in our Super 16 high school football poll. Here's what the new one looks like. Take a look at it. The number 16 team. Mount Carmel dropped considerably, 0-1. They were way up there when it started. Number 15, Whitehall, did not play. Number 14, Honesdale, lost to Bloomsburg. Number 13, Southern Columbia, a winner over Jim Thorpe. Number 12 is Shamokin. They lost to Milton. They were number 5. Number 11, Tamaqua, knocked off Mount Carmel. Number 10, Pottsville. They were number 2. They lost to Williamsport, 43-13. Coughlin at number 9 did not play. GAR knocked off Bishop Hoban. Number 7 is Williamsport. They had the big win over Pottsville and moved up. Blue Mountain, a winner, number 9 last week, moved up. Loyal Sock, a winner over Towanda, moved up 1. Berwick, 12-0 winner over Selinsgrove, is up to 4th. Dunmore did not play, as 3rd. Wyoming area, 21-10 win over Hazleton, came from behind to win that. They were 3rd last week. And Valley View did not play, number 1 last week, and remains the number 1 team in the Super 16. Well, a great opportunity has come along for Wilkes College basketball coach Bart Belaires, and so the second-year coach is on the road again. They told us today that Belaires, who took over at Wilkes 2 seasons ago, will be an assistant at Maryland.
It's one of the hardest things I've had to do, and I've never had to do it before, to tell a team that, you know, you're not going to be there, especially after school has started. But I think they understand, and when I've recruited all of them, I have told them that I always wanted the best situation for them, and so I'm hoping that it will in turn be carried on, and they'll look at it the same way for me, that it's just such a great opportunity for me that they'll wish me the best, and they have.
The new man at Wilkes is Ron Rainey. He used to be an assistant there, comes back from Delaware, where he was an assistant. Phillies are still on that West Coast swing, playing the Giants this afternoon, 3-3, and right now they are in the 12th inning. The Mets a game back of St. Louis. They're in San Diego tonight. The Cards home with Cincinnati. The Yankees 3 back in the loss column of Toronto, home with Seattle. The Blue Jays are off. And at the U.S. Open, Chris Everett Lloyd, 6-3, 6-3 today. She's a winner. That's all of it. Give tonight your best shot. I'll see you at 11 o'clock.
Very good.
Okay, Joe. I assume you might have more whenever there is more to tell about the race-fixing situation.
For sure.
Right? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Stargazers and comet watchers, stay tuned. We'll have some comet fever.
We'll tell you about the great return of Halley's Comet and what it's doing to telescope sales in just a moment.
The 60s was the wild look. The 70s was the let it be look. The 80s is the neat look. And now Vitalis lets it be your look. Introducing new Vitalis Superhold Aerosol. Research showed new Superhold held up longer than the leading men's aerosol. Now, any way you wear your hair, you can keep that neat look longer. Get new Vitalis Superhold or try new Natural Hold. For the neat look, Vitalis has it all, so you can have it all.
At Price Chopper, we never stop looking for ways to bring you better bargains and better meat. Our first choice team of butchers work hard every week to bring you the best bargains around on the best meat. Don't miss the 16-page insert in this week's paper for better bargains and better beef savings like these. With coupon on the cover, get 3 pounds or more of our fresh store-made ground chuck, 80% lean, only 99 cents a pound. Get USDA choice beef, shell sirloin steak, $1.79 a pound. Join me at Price Chopper and get better bargains and better meat.
The last time Halley's Comet visited Earth's neighborhood in 1910, con men sold comet pills to protect people from supposedly deadly gases in the comet's tail. Well, this winter the comet will return, and as Newswatch 16's Dan Fiorucci reports, this time honest businessmen expect to profit from it.
Halley's Comet is coming, and that means telescopes are going. At some northeastern Pennsylvania stores, the sales are, well, astronomical.
There's been a good increase, about 10% increase in sales.
The comet has really spurred the interest of the public.
But it's hard to understand why there's such a run on telescopes. Most astronomers agree that this 33rd appearance of Halley's Comet will look less than spectacular to most laymen.
The length of the tail won't be anything like it was in 1910, maybe a third of as long.
At Bucknell University's observatory, Dr. Anthony Nicastro says that because the Earth and the comet will be on opposite sides of the sun, this view of Halley's Comet will be the worst in 2,000 years.
For us in the northern hemisphere, the comet will be very low to the horizon, very poor view for such an extended object.
Well, we have different cruises, Halley's Comet, basically a lot of them leaving out of San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Because the view of the comet will be better in the southern hemisphere, cruise lines are offering trips to the South Atlantic. But one travel agent says there isn't much interest in the cruises in our viewing area.
And how many people have come in asking about these cruises?
Well, I'd say about 2.
Looking good, Ox. It's a good steady spin, and you're right on attitude.
Of course, to get the best view of the comet, you really have to travel out of this world, above the dimming effects of the atmosphere. Several space shuttle missions are planned for this winter, and NASA will study Halley's Comet. Dan Fiorucci, Newswatch 16.
And that is Newswatch 16 for a Tuesday.
Be sure to join us tonight on The Update when we'll tell you about a new business that's taking off in our area.
For the team, thank you for joining us.
Enjoy your evening.